What's good? What's good, YouTube? Titans here, and I just recently got back from the ARG in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and as a lot of people know, I got second place with Satellarknights, losing in the finals to my good friend Ann Furman. So I wasn't too mad about the loss. I went to Game 5 after all. I just had a little went too many monsters. There's a few too many monsters, but overall, the reason I ran this deck is because I didn't like Shadows because they lost to a lot of floodgate cards, which were 3 Shadow Mirrors, Soul Drain, Dimensional Fissure, and I just don't really like decks that lose to that many floodgates with not well heavy Storm Weevil. And this deck is side deck just about every single card you want. Shadow Mirror, Deep Fissure, Soul Drain, Stygian Dirge, which I'll get to later. It's just so versatile with the side deck. Even goes in a robber if you really wanted to. So and his deck was just more consistent every other deck in the field, and you have like 3 very barriers, and his deck is really consistent. I like rank 4s. So I worked on the deck with Danny Yu and Timid, so on Skype. So thanks to them for the build. But overall the event was good. You can check out my feature matches on Ultra Reality Games website or YouTube channel. So I'm just getting to the deck real quick and explaining my hard choices. We have 3 Denebs. I'm not explaining that. We have 3 Altairs. And 3 of the Foolish Burial Guy. A lot of people only run 1. We were chosen to run 3 because a lot of the hands you would lose were hands with no monsters, or the wrong monsters like this and Vega. So you wouldn't open up with this because this would make your Call to Arms as a soul charge any future when you use live. It also 1800, so it created made emptiness a little bit better because it's just big 1800. So it's just really key in the mirror match. It's actually really good in the mirror because let's say you summon Altair and you break their skill or Vanny's emptiness it. You can then summon this and attack over, and and you have your 1800 guy. Whereas you summon this, you have to crash or use the effect. You don't want to be the first one to use these. You make your opponent the first one. And also, if your opponent goes summon this, you emptiness, and you summon this. Once again, it's just really good that scenario. This is really good emptiness. So, it's also really good at playing around Deep Prison because you can dump the Neb and attack that. Where otherwise you would summon the Neb, search Altair, attack, and then with Deep Prison, this would be dead. But otherwise, you just summon this, dump it. So even the prison, you still every guy in your graveyard. So that's why I really like 3 of these. 1 Vega because you never really want to see it in your opening hand. You want to search it. You never really needed more than one with Called Haunted and Soul Charge. Not to mention you use Altair to bring it back for its effect. So you came in Vega for Vega. So this is one of you never want to see multiples of these. So 1's pretty. I'd only still be running 1. 3 Duality, because you want it, your open hands to be solid. So I'll probably cut 1 of these though, because they're gonna flip it off. I need the Altair, so just hope they for side stuff as well. It's actually really good with the Foolish Burial Guy as well, and obviously do that. 3 Upstart. I see people not running it in this deck for some reason. I don't know why. Oh yeah, don't run a Burn Guy. The Burn Guy is not necessary at all. I understand he can steal games sometimes, but in the long run in tournament, you're not trying to, you want to make your deck as consistent as possible. And All-Sim or whatever it's called isn't really going to do that for you. The whole thing of all you can call to Haunt and make soul charge, your opponent's soul charge is dead. That's not really the goal of the deck. It's just to burn. It's just not necessary. 2 soul charge because we tested 3. And it was clogging a little too much, and dealing with opposing emptinesses, it wasn't really optimal to have multiple soul charges. I might go back up to 3 though, because it really does decide the mirror match. If you have, and your opponent has it, you don't. So as you can see in my finals feature match, unfortunately, 2 MSTs because we were testing wide type at first, and a big problem would be that you have a big monster, let's say a Skarman defense. Or something big in defense or whatever, or a monster, and a face of Vanny's emptiness, and it'd be really, really difficult. You'd have to do awkward things when I get rid of emptiness because there's not one monster that you can attack over with. Attack over a monster with. Your monster's the biggest attack is 1800, so if they have anything more than 1800, you're sitting there. You're gonna have a hard time getting over with emptiness. You'll summon and torrential, or like you do compulse the monster tries happening. It's just really awkward. So like we decided to do this because it deals with on-board impedances, like hits in-phase call, like I guess in Sylvans it's much better than Y Tech, which hit Miracle Fertilizer and Oxmania, but this was good for the weekend. 2 reinforcements. That's all the spells. We chose not to play Book. I probably should have, looking back on it, I should have probably played Book because it's a card to where if they're just sitting there with like a emptiness, or like, let's say on the Floodgate like Nightmare, I can just summon an attack. Whereas waiting for him to attack into my Deepers is not really the best strategy. Just letting them draw in trap cards. So probably should have played Blue Moon. Traps, 3 alpha. Probably the reason I ran the deck because it's card like you open up alpha to Neb, you basically just like chance of winning are like really high at that point. Because a lot of times when you have to search out Altair with the Neb, they want to attack it. So like this forces it in the graveyard so you can get it back and get your like cycle going with Altair to Neb. So 3 emptiness. You kind of need no running. This card should probably be banned. It's just that broken. Especially with these, like, can you just spit out rank 4s? Like, you just put up rank 4, put this up. Like, so many decks just lose. Like, it's just such a dumb card right now. Like, the Mirror Match is stupid. Against Burning Abyss is retarded. Shade All, Sylvans, Water. Like, this card just, like, it's like in certain scenarios, it's better oppression because you can turn off yourself with, like, Upstart Goblin Reinforcement. So, like, the card is ridiculous right now. 3 Breakthrough Skill because, against Shadows, you want to make sure you have this in your graveyard. I'm mad these aren't matching, but you want to make sure you have it in graveyard for Midrash. Hopefully against Felgren as well. Stopping the attack isn't really that important because you don't really care if you guys are in the graveyard or on field because you can bring them back at any time. So that's why we ran this over Phoenix Chain. What's in the scenario? Oh yeah, in a mirror match, it stops stuff like Giant Hand and Candela. If you have this in graveyard, your opponent can't summon those. So yeah, Breakthrough Skill is really important. Like, I liked it a lot. Like, Breakthrough Skill like the Armageddon Knight against Shadows is huge because at that point, like, if they summon their first mid-rush they summon is like a blank. It's just 2200 normal monster. So, like, Breakthrough Skill is really good. 3 D prisons. Reason we ran 3 D prisons because, like, a lot of times, like, when you against Shadows, like, you can summon, if you have Dweller and D prison face down, they have to, like, it's just so awkward for them because like, they go straight off fusion, you're like, alright, chain Dweller, then they attack UD prison, so you still have your Dweller up with 1 material, and they lost their like straight off fusion and one of their mid rashes, so that's actually really huge. It's also really huge in mirror match, you can D prison the Nebs and stuff. Against Burning Abyss, if they're attacking with Burning Abyss monsters, D prison. It's a really good card that's right now because like just the way it is against Yin Zhang, I think it's called. Whatever, D prison all their stuff. So it's just really good. So. Alright. Let me see. So yeah, 3D prison is really good. Probably wouldn't go down. 3 call. Go on it. In a lot of scenarios, this is better than Soul Charge because you just go in phase call for Altair, get the Neb, search out another Altair. Therefore, you can still attack next turn. As long as you don't use your Altair in hand effect, you have rank 4 on field. So that's just really huge. Or in some scenarios, you'll in phase call the Hunt on Vega, get the Altair from your hand, get the Neb, then search out another Altair. So you have 3 level 4s on board, so you can basically do whatever. Really good with like the Foolish Burial guy. One time, like it's also really good with Nova, like because you can just call the Hornet during their standby phase, get the Neb or Altair, and like have Nova face down. So like they probably can't kill both monsters without triggering something for you to activate Nova on. So that's really good. So I just hope the Thunder King in a side deck, like if they like, because a lot of times they go out of their way to kill Thunder King, so you just call it back. So then the last 3 staples: Compulse, Warning, Torrential. Chose not to play Bottoms because Bottoms is pretty subpar against anything that's not this deck. It's pretty subpar against Burning Abyss and Shadows. So like the only thing in Burning Abyss you're going to Bottomless is what Seer or whatever. So but most of the time like it's not really like you're not getting full value out of it. Like, I'm not bottom until Mathematician. I'm just not having it. Against Shadows, it's terrible. So, against Water, it's not that great. Against Sylvans, I guess it's decent, but it's not really worth it right there, right? It wasn't. We decided it wasn't really worth raining. That's a main deck. 40 cards, obviously. Yeah, sure got ones. Main deck was fine. There's a few things I want to change. I didn't run Honest because we put the third D% over Honest because when you overlay with a monster, most of the time it's not going to be light. So Honest wasn't really that great. It was only great when you had 40 monsters up with like a Vega Alpha Note, the Alpha phase down, and you had the monsters on board. But at that point, like, I'd much rather have deeper than some most of the time because like when they attack with mid range, I don't really want Honest because they get their shade off fusion. So like I understand Honest can steal games and your whole main deck's light, so it might be weird not to run Honest, but it just, trust me, it just wasn't like the most optimal thing to have in most scenarios. Let me go for the extra deck real quick. There's a few things I'll change in here, I guess. What do we start with? 2 Castels. Whoops. 2 Castels. In testing, you always need a multiple, so this wasn't really like something that I changed. I'd still run 2. 2 Deltaros. I'd go down to 1 because in testing it came up. The 2 came up multiple times, but it's not necessary. Like especially with 1 Vega, like you probably don't need to. What else? I think something during the Cowboy. We're in Cowboy. Diamond Dyer. It's really important because out Nightmare, maybe Soul Charge. Giant Hand. Well, luckily this isn't necessary as long as you have the next card I'm gonna show you, which is Gandiva. This helps a lot in the mirror match. You can destroy any special monster. That's all 4. Or lower, so without Soul Charge because it destroys monsters. So like, yeah, you guys don't need Giant Hand. We just ran it because we thought it was necessary at first, but then found out about this card. So, Sidon, $1. Take out the second dweller for Gandiva. Gorgon because it's really good, especially with floodgates. Rhapsody is great in the mirror match. Starly, just a pseudo floater. I got Arc. Digusto, really important, so don't waste it. Side deck. 3 Maxis, Sylvans, Water, and all those Infernities, stuff like that. Thunder King, Mirror Match, and Burning Abyss, and Grand Mole, which was for Shadows, and sometimes Burning Abyss. Pretty sure that's the only matches I started doing it. It worked out once. I bounced somebody's construct. So, I mean, mid-rash. So that's worked out, I guess. Dimensional Fissure. That's the only spawn inside deck. Soul Drain. Floodgates. Gotta love it. More Floodgates. 3 Shadow Mirrors. Every time I drew this and it resolved, I won the game because they decks that you started against cannot play Yu-Gi-Oh! Burning Abyss, Shadows, like they actually can't play. I don't start this against Infernities though. Yeah, they just can't play a game. Like, you have to like beat down Dragon. More Floodgates. Or I guess it's a Floodgate. Station Dirge. Against Burning Abyss is also a blowout because all our monsters are level 2. And in Mirror Match is also another blowout because they can't actually overlay for anything. It only affects your opponent, so you can do whatever you want. Your opponent actually can't do anything. You just have to beat down. And since a lot of builds only run one, the Foolish Burial guy, this guy, they only run one of them, so they usually can't beat down that effectively. So they have to out this. If they don't side him a season, then yeah, that was really good though. I liked it. I liked it a lot. 2 new scenes, Infernities. That's the only thing we started for Infernities. Like, it's the only thing we started against. Maybe, no, that's nothing else. So we had 3 in the side deck eventually, but we took out the 3rd one for Grand Mole Saturday morning. So that's the main deck, guys. Video's getting kind of long, so if you have any questions, leave comments below. Yeah, that's it, guys. Just try to give this video some more likes, and I'll let's see what I do. I know I didn't do the last one because I got sick. So if this video gets like 120 likes, I will put up like a huge like discussion video on Satellarknights and like what changes I'd make and like some combos and stuff. So later, guys.